Everyone, it's Bari. I am so happy to be here with you this evening. I have a really great training in store for you, strategic thinkers. We're going to talk about the 5 steps to apply strategic thinking, finding sweet love. So I hope you're excited. So for those of you who don't know me yet and you're just joining our community, I'm Bari Lyman, and I love teaching people about effectiveness in love. I'm the creator of Meet to Marry, Get Unstuck in Love, a transformational dating method that helps singles to permanently break through unconscious and conscious dating and relationship patterns so they can find really healthy love. I hope you're really excited about that. Most people think that there is no way to have a plan for finding love. What you're about to find out is that there really is. And so many people ask me, what is a high achiever? Am I a high achiever? Because they think they have to be, at the top of their career, a certain stature, a certain amount of money in the bank to be a high achiever. But that's not true at all. A high achiever is someone who is appreciative of structure, of having a way of accomplishing something that is rooted in effectiveness. And the truth is that for most things in life, you do have that. So for the past 15 years, I've been working with teachers, marketers, writers, lawyers, doctors, people of every age, religion, and background, and they all have one thing in common, is that they want to find a sweet, healthy love. So who's excited? I know that most of you, if you're here, you probably dread dating. You dread dating because it's mostly messy and unpredictable, right? Like dating is almost like a necessary evil. Most people tell me, ew, I hate online dating and I don't want to have to do it. I want you to know that it doesn't need to be that way. There is another way. For most things in life where you've created success, you've had a plan. And what's in a plan? Steps, right? Curriculum, a path that is very predictable. Going to college, it's 4 years. Going to law school, how long that's going to take. You know what you have to do to prep. So why should love be different? I want you to know too is why dating has been really hard is that one, no one has ever really taught you about how to do it. People think they should just know. I want you to know that if you've never experienced healthy love the way you want it, then how could you possibly go out there and know or even recognize it? How would that be possible? Well, it really wouldn't. And that's a big part of the reason that it's been so hard. So today I want to dive in to the 5 ways that you can apply strategic thinking, finding love. So let's take a moment and look at what is strategic thinking anyway? Well, strategic thinking is a process that involves analyzing factors, setting goals, and developing plans to achieve them. Makes sense, right? It's a way to think critically and solve problems, and it's especially useful in many fields like business, finance, and sales, right? So does that make sense to you? Do you see how you've been strategic and you've used critical thinking in other areas? And some skills that are really useful in strategic thinking are skills that, guess what? We can apply dating, innovation, and planning, and research, and problem solving, communication, leadership, decisiveness. All right. So are you all ready for the first way to apply strategic thinking? Great. So the first way to apply strategic thinking is 1, set clear goals. Now, most people think that love, you can't set a goal. Like, what is this, magic? But guess what? Finding love can be predictable when you're a strategic thinker. Okay, most people don't do that. Why? They're afraid to. They say, what if I'm disappointed again? And then I'll be let down. And I don't want to be let down again. But I want you to know that's the wrong mindset. Setting a goal and understanding that if for whatever reason doesn't happen at that time, well, it just means that it hasn't happened yet. And strategic thinkers have a way of looking at things that is really success oriented. So to achieve anything, a goal to lose weight, a goal to get a degree, a goal for really anything, we must set an intention. And the meaning that we apply to that intention determines the success. So what I want you to know is that successful people fail more often than unsuccessful people even try. I'll say that again. Successful people fail more often than unsuccessful people even try. So it speaks to needing a mindset of setting an intention and a mindset of being iterative and learning from the outcomes that you create. So if you set an intention, what we want to do is really set the date and then align your world and your inner life to match that date. And then it's really being and doing what it takes to achieve this goal in your heart without excuses. Like, you can literally plan your wedding date and be a person who is so aligned with that outcome. Isn't that amazing? I see this working every single week in our Clear Path to True Healthy Love program with people who just open up to all new possibility by leaving thinking, old conditioning, and fear behind. Okay? So I challenge you now to take a moment to set a date, set an intention by when you would like to meet your yummy soulmate by. Take a moment and write that date. Any project, it always begins with an intention, with a set of plans. You can't build a house without a blueprint. Okay, so we need to do that. Number 2 is understand the outcome. Understand what it really is. Not only understand the outcome, feel the outcome. Ooh. So strategic thinkers know the outcome of what they're committed to creating, not sort of, not, well, maybe I'll focus on it or maybe I won't, depending on how I feel. There's no magical thinking at all. So what does that mean? Let's use the analogy of creating software, like a high-tech company. There are teams of people all coding different parts of this software that's going to end up being this, right? So wouldn't you agree that everyone has to know what version 1 is going to include, right? You have to know that. You have to know what it is we're creating in the future, design it out, design all the features, what it's going to do, right? And do you think they can do that if their mindsets are stink up, or they don't believe it's possible, or they're afraid to do it, or they don't have the skills to do it? No, of course not. So find love, good love. There are a lot of things you need to know that are not just a checklist. Most people tend to have a checklist, but a checklist, you could find people that match your checklist, but they're still not the ones. To find love, there are things that you actually need to know, and you have to be anchored in those things in order to create it. You must know what your emotional needs are, and emotional needs are those needs that must be met in order for you to feel safe, in order for you to feel good in your skin. And your emotional needs come from the needs that were not met in your past, in your childhood. Can you imagine how important that is? We're talking about finding a person to share your whole life with, right? Number 2, you have to have a clear vision for this future that you want to create, that you want to build. Because if you're building something, you need to build it with another person, right? And you can't wish and hope and just find any person and then maybe get them to want that. That won't work. And core values, you have to know what your core values are, your goals, and you have to be able to understand, embody, and be able to articulate all of the qualities that you need in a relationship. Okay? Not just a date, not just a friend, but a relationship for a lifetime. So it's serious business, right? The number 1, you need to set a clear goal. Number 2, you need to understand the outcome. Now, we're ready for number 3. Number 3 is to have an open, curious mindset. a growing mindset, grounded in reality, be tenacious. And strategic thinkers are agile, right? Meaning they learn from their testing and they adjust and they're dynamic. Based on new information, they make changes. They don't drag around past failures. If you're carrying around incompletions from the past and you have fear and you don't trust and you're worried about abandonment and you don't like this and you don't like that, all of that clogs the inner space that you need. So strategic thinkers don't do that. If you notice, strategic thinkers have a whiteboard, they get busy designing, they iterate, and they learn and grow, okay? So from all their experiences, they are flexible. Unfortunately, most people don't operate that way. They have heart armor up, they have defense mechanisms, and these defense mechanisms, being too busy for love, saying it's not that important to me, focusing on work, focusing on everyone else, right? They're all coping mechanisms. And so what happens is if you have these defense mechanisms and you're literally wearing heart armor to protect yourself from what you really do want, which is good love. But again, strategic thinkers, they learn and they prep in order to be successful. Most people avoid dating and they complain about it. They take endless breaks. But in my experience doing this for 15 years, these breaks are just relief from bad dating. So I always say, if you want a better answer about finding love, then ask a better question. So instead of asking, why are there so many emotionally unavailable men? Why are the dating sites so awful? Why is it so terrible where I live? A better question to ask is, why is it that I am attracting wrong people? What is it about me and my energy? See, that's a curious mindset. That's not a mindset based in shame or lack of worthiness. That's just a curious, strategic, critical thinking question to ask that could lead you to something really wonderful. Okay. So there's no victim here, right? No victim mindset, no skepticism. Right? We don't want to do that. So now I want you to understand that we need the inner space for love to thrive. And that is how we're able to create, as a strategic thinker, something brand new and wonderful. So now we're ready to talk about the fourth way to apply strategic thinking to find love. Number 4 is remove all roadblocks to success. So what are roadblocks? Here's an example of a roadblock. Bad advice from people around you, like Aunt Louise. Everyone has an opinion and they're dating, right? Watching the news. Don't do it. Blowing in the wind with every dating trend or this style of texting or trying to be more feminine or goddess-like. All those things are not helpful. They are literally roadblocks that mess with your mindset in such a bad way. So we want to remove all constraints that will get in your way, that will clog you up. Pack mentality thinking, operating from the past, from incompletions, right? Judgment, negativity, feeling like there's no one worth dating. All of these things are really roadblocks. Thinking what you want doesn't exist. All of these things are not what strategic thinkers employ when they want to create success. And definitely we want to create success. So we have to eradicate all of the things that are blocking success. One, we set clear goals. Very important to set an intention that we can make happen. Number 2, strategic thinkers, they literally understand the outcome and they feel the outcome even before it happens. That's what high performers do. Professional athletes actually watch themselves and they vision how it's going to go, like the ball going in the net. They see it. That's what strategic thinking really is. It's giving yourself success and the edge. Okay. Number 3 is have an open and curious mindset about finding love. That's really important, right? You have to be ready to be iterative and curious and flexible and learn from what you're doing, how to change and adjust. And 4 is again to remove all roadblocks to success, the inner and the outer roadblocks. Example is no bad advice. And number 5 is to have a plan. Oh my goodness, strategic thinkers, they have a plan. They set clear, actionable goals, and they consider how achievable they are. And in our program, we actually use SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, time-bound, realistic. They are literally creating success. They have what they need. They have a team. They have accountability. They have support. They have structure. They have daily practices that allow them to keep their mindset high. They know every day what it is they're doing to achieve this success. That's the beauty of having a strategic plan. Strategic thinkers, they step back from the muck of only the details, and they look at the situation from above. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a creative process. It's an iterative process. And guess what? They understand that there's foundational things that they need to do. So what we do is we have mindset shifts that are rooted in really healthy thinking. They have daily, evening practices. Their calendars are all set for success. They know when they're going to be doing what. They have support. Time is blocked off for everything that's important, from self-care and rest to actually doing dating activities. It's a beautiful thing. And guess what? This happens in the getting readiness phase and also in the empowered dating phase. And we're talking about effectiveness. And that's what I wanted to bring up now, because our plan is called A Clear Path to True Healthy Love. And it's a plan for strategic thinkers ready to stop doing what they had been doing that wasn't working and do something that will work, that's proven. People who love a plan. And our plan is a 90-day plan, which is the perfect amount of time for success. So are you someone who's been thinking about creating success in your love life? Are you tired of waiting and hoping and the struggles related to dating, how unpredictable it is, and you want predictability? If you do, then we need to have a conversation. In our conversation, we would literally map out all of these steps: setting clear goals, understanding the outcome, learning how to feel it, and all the steps to success that we've helped more than 1,000 people to find sweet, good love that makes life better over the past 15 years. Strategic thinkers, they prioritize their most important goals. There's no more waiting, because the biggest, most important commodity that we all have is time. And nothing is more painful than squandering time that we can't get back, focused on things that are not that important. So our strategic thinkers, they are courageous and they made a decision, and everything changes because they invest their time in the thing that's going to change everything. So if that is something that you want, book a call. I'll share the link under this video, and we would love to help you craft your strategic plan as a strategic thinker, applying critical thinking in a way that is going to be wonderful and joyful. So again, in summary, 1, here are the steps. Set a clear goal by when you would like to achieve your goal of finding sweet love. 2, understand the outcome and feel it. The universe doesn't know the difference between you feeling something that hasn't happened and having it actually happen. And then it doesn't end there, because now we need to take the steps. We need to be active by eradicating the fears, the blocks, the trust issues, all those things that have been getting in your way of believing it's possible. Number 5 is have a strategic plan. Have a strategic plan to make it real, that encompasses all the heart set, mindset, and skill set actions that need to happen with feedback. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoy this. People say, oh, having a plan, strategic thinking, it's so hard. Guess what? It's hard to be alone over all these years without achieving your dream. That's hard. It's hard to be alone. It's hard to not have your dream. And maybe it's hard to do the work necessary in 90 days to change everything, but you will get your outcome because everyone who does it gets the outcome. So I invite you to choose your hard. You can apply strategic thinking on a new foundational background, new foundational plan rooted in success. And again, I want you to know that since you exist, your soulmate exists, and your soulmate is totally waiting for you. And if you want to find your soulmate and you're ready to say no to anything getting in your way, then I invite you to book a call. It's no obligation. We're going to look at what's working, what's not working, your dreams, your goals, and really what would be the next step. It's just a way of getting to know each other and deciding for you when is the right time to make this happen. Okay, it's almost 2025. Don't let another year go by without at least checking it out and getting everything you need to know and how to apply strategic thinking to love. Okay, guys, I do a new training every single week for you to really think differently about love, because high achievers are strategic thinkers and you deserve to find your person. So book your call. And until next week, have a really great one. See you soon.